Today on New England Living, home is where the heart is. We're getting an inside look at a husband and wife pilot team who built their forever home overlooking, you guessed it, the airport. Plus, we'll check out a one-of-a-kind house in Cambridge, bringing luxury living to a whole new level. And we'll visit the Queen of Color in southern Rhode Island to learn how to give your dated home a modern facelift. It all starts right now on New England Living. New England is full of adventure. I can't believe you guys are letting me do this. Up and away.
Look at that. Oh, you just did your first takeoff.
Join me as we discover the people and places that make us so unique.
This is it. You can't find it anywhere else in North America.
I mean, does it get any better than this? Love the place you call home with New England Living. Thanks for joining us today on New England Living. I'm your host, Rachel Holt. Coming up, we're heading to Winthrop to meet with Kara and Jamie Crowley for a look at their newly rebuilt dream home. You're both pilots and you're often sitting in the cockpit working together. That must be pretty unique as a couple.
It definitely is. We have an amazing opportunity. It's been really a lifelong dream for us that we've been able to make this happen, to fly together.
You get to wake up, go to work, spend every minute together. It's been so much fun for the last 4 years.
Given that you fly out of Logan Airport and we're right across the way here, location must have played a big factor when purchasing this home.
When we first found the house, we said, well, you know, we're going to be going to the airport quite a bit. It's what we do for a living. We might as well live close. And then we got lucky enough to find this house, which was very close to the airport.
Not a bad commute, right?
Easy
It's a very
commute.
nice commute, definitely.
It's obvious this view was so important to you during the build. What was your vision for the space?
We just wanted to have this be a space that we could enjoy more on a daily basis. At one point, this was our bedroom, and we wanted to open this up and really take advantage of the view, the water, the airport, the city, at nighttime watching the city lights. So now it's a space that we can bring friends or family and enjoy the view and the sunsets. I really liked the idea of having the deck and the pool all at one level so that we could extend this living space into the backyard. We can open up these doors and it feels like the outside comes in and it's all a big open space. When I saw this Marvin Sky Cove in the showroom, I walked away from that thinking, where can we put this in our house? We've got to find a place. And this was the perfect spot for it because it really opened up this room, made it feel bigger, gave us another place to sit, and expanded this whole view. So we're absolutely thrilled with what it's become.
What was the process like of working with Marvin?
Marvin's been great. We first saw the multi-slide in the showroom at Seven Tide. I really liked the quality of the construction of the door. It's a very heavy door. It slides really nice on the tracks. It has a screen that goes the entire width of the door so we can open the doors, get the breeze to come in with the screen closed. One of the things we like to do is sit in this sunroom and open the Marvin multi-slide door and just let the breeze come in and feel like we're outdoors.
It's really amazing to be able to sit here but still feel like you're sitting outside. It just feels so open and airy and beautiful. It's really fun to sit here and work out and enjoy the light coming in rather than being in a small, dark space.
When we started the project, we knew we were going to have a good view back here, but we had no idea how nice the view was going to be when we added the multi-slide door and the Sky Cove together. It really opened up the room, really from north to south, as you would say.
We have this beautiful place to sit now that's surrounded by glass, whether it's the sun coming in and making you feel warm in the winter or the rain and watching it fall on the glass above your head and feeling like you're outside. I think it's beautiful from the outside as well, looking down the side of the house and seeing kind of through the room.
When we started the remodeling project, this was actually 2 rooms back here. We had a wall down the middle of the room. So it felt a little bit smaller. What we liked about the Sky Cove was it felt like it added a lot of space to the room. And now that we've opened up the room and taken the wall down, it feels even that much larger.
Given how much time and energy you spent on this remodel and looking around now, is this what you envisioned for it?
Absolutely, we're absolutely thrilled. It's an old home. It was built in 1920 and we had a vision, and we knew when we picked out the Marvin product that it was going to be beautiful. We saw it in the showroom and it was gorgeous. But getting to see it in our home, I think it has definitely exceeded our expectations. Along with that, just the experience working with Marvin has been so wonderful. Customer service is definitely over the top, and we're absolutely thrilled. They've helped us achieve this beautiful dream of ours.
Coming up after the break, we'll check out Cambridge's newest luxury property, offering next-level style and elegance. When New England Living returns after this. Welcome back to New England Living. I'm Rachel Holt. Up next, we're visiting a stunning home near Harvard Square for the newest look at luxury living with Cambridge real estate expert Ed Fijo. What an incredible house, and it's hard to believe that we're just steps away from Harvard Square. Tell me about this property.
So this was completely redone and reimagined from its existing small cottage-style house on an amazing lot. We have lots of Asian and European influences here, and it's just a wonderful house, totally designed for entertaining. It fits in seamlessly with the neighborhood, but once you walk in the door, I mean, it just blows you away, and you've got this entirely different perspective from the exterior to the interior of the house.
Walk us through this property and what people can find here, because I don't know a favorite room. The spa, the primary bedroom, the primary closet, I mean, I want it all.
As you approach this house in this little enclave, you've got this great property that really fits into the neighborhood. You walk in, you're blown away. This amazing staircase behind us, which was custom designed and built here on site. It brings you right into this wonderful living room, which could be used as a music room or a family space, however you need to gather around it, with a beautiful fireplace. And then as you head to the back, you're in this family room kitchen space that's connected to the outdoors by 3 sides. And then if you head upstairs, you've got this continuation of communal space. You've got a hangout zone with a cool floating fireplace. You've got a separate study that's glass enclosed if you need a little privacy but don't want to be away from the rest of your family or guests. And then this amazing primary suite, which is literally incredible. It has a walk-in closet that most people would die for, and a beautiful 4-piece bath, custom European tiles all throughout. And then once we head downstairs, you've got all these other elements that just take your breath away. You've got a really wonderful media area, and then you've got a guest room down there that could be a gym, because you've got an incredible spa to finish off your day. So you have a spa with a steam shower and sauna. It just gives you everything you need all the way through.
There's 3 floors in total, and each one offers something a little different. And what I like is this is the perfect home for entertaining, but at the same time, you have these intimate spaces scattered throughout.
True. So the whole design of this house was to create moments where you could step away and be on your own, but still be part of the conversation of the house. So lots of moments of whether you're sitting in the library area just reading a book, or if you're upstairs watching a movie, or downstairs in the billiards room, you could be anywhere and just feel like you're not lost in a cavernous house, but just in tremendous spaces, both cozy and large.
Martin, the designer, will never replicate things, so everything you're seeing in here is really one of a kind.
It certainly is. I mean, he takes everything from the millwork, this staircase, all the selections of all the stone, everything is really well thought out and imagined for the space specifically.
Leading the creative vision for this property is designer Martin Cathaso. This is always a tough question as a builder because you put so much care into this house. But if you had to pick a couple things that you're really proud of with this property, what would you pick?
I like the way that we were able to balance the traditional elements with the contemporary elements. I like the way that you come in and you think it's going to be a British cottage from the outside, and you walk inside and it's a very different world, and that's kind of magical to me. That's the kind of thing that excites me as a designer. And probably the most important thing was I knew that this was going to be a house for entertaining from the beginning. So I tried to create several different intimate areas within the larger open space so that the family could feel enveloped by the space. I didn't want it to feel cavernous in any way. To me, that epitomizes luxury. I don't necessarily want to show what I have to everybody walking down the street. The only people that get to experience this house is if you're invited in. To me, quiet luxury is the epitome of luxury.
The crown jewel of this house is the staircase behind us that spans 3 floors. What was the thought process behind this?
So I knew because of the size of the plate at 2,500 feet of floor, I needed something to anchor it. I wanted something sculptural. I wanted something that got your attention the minute you walked in the door. And I also think of staircases as the place where the family meets at different times every day. It's the real spine, the real soul of the house. It's always important to me to have light coming down to the staircase. The light in the staircase is kind of a signature move for me. I often use skylights above them because I feel like we live in such a dark place generally. I want to try to bring in volume and light throughout the year.
From the outside, you wouldn't necessarily know that when you're walking through the door, you're about to walk into a house that has the feel of a museum.
Absolutely, that was exactly what the expectation was, to create a house that really felt part of the neighborhood but just blew you away when you walked in. Comfortable, good for entertaining. You've really got to be a stealth buyer to want to be here.
You specialize in Cambridge real estate. What have you noticed in terms of the luxury market here over the last few years?
The luxury market in particular used to be a little bit more conservative here in Cambridge, and now we're seeing a whole new crop of people that want to be in Cambridge but expect something that's a little bit cooler and a little bit more upend. Buyers resonate with this style and with this house because it's so unique and because it sort of sets itself apart from other properties that might be in the same price range.
Coming up next, we'll learn all about the latest color trends in kitchen and bath design with the Queen of Color when New England Living returns after this. Welcome back to New England Living. We're heading to Southern Rhode Island for some tips on using color to update your home with interior designer Michelle Lee Parento. Michelle, as the interior designer, what was your vision for this project?
So I really wanted to create more storage. It's really important for people to have kitchens that have more storage to fit things. I also wanted to help them embrace color, which is so important. You know, it makes it such a happy space. The other thing I wanted to do is also bring in appliances that were going to work for them as well.
What are some of those design elements you focused on in this kitchen?
Right, so as you can see, the tile goes all the way up to the ceiling. It's bright, it's cherry, it's colorful. The teal green cabinets also lend a pop of color, but then the island is that rough sawn oak, so it breaks it up. And also the wood plank tile as well on the floor in that herringbone design just gives it a more unique feel instead of just laying 18 by 18 tile or something like that. The lighting was key also, task lighting over the island, so when they're prepping and stuff like that, that would work for them.
When it comes to kitchens, a space where people spend a lot of time, what are some tips you have for flow and function?
So I like to think about the size of the island. Are you going to do food prep there? Are you going to be sitting there at nighttime with your family? So definitely having the right size island. Also, are you a big coffee drinker, tea drinker? Having a nice coffee bar where you can have everything organized is important, as well as having cabinets that go all the way to the ceiling because that's going to give you more storage that you need.
And something that really sticks out if you look at it is the tile.
Yeah, so the tile is just like a burst of happiness. You have that peach with the teal and that floral design, so it just kind of makes a splash when you walk in.
What are some of those ways that we can add color to our homes to help personalize it a little bit?
You can do it through your furnishings. You could do it through window treatments, tile, your backsplash. Even countertops are on all different colors right now. Even lighting, I mean, you can have fun with lighting too, or even, your plumbing fixtures. Right now, you can get a sink that is aqua blue or a toilet that's aqua blue, or even apple green. I mean, there's so much right now.
With this house specifically, it seems like each bathroom has its own personality.
Absolutely. With the powder room, that's a more elevated space, smaller space, where the main bath upstairs has more of a coastal feel to it, with lots of blues and greens and polished nickel plumbing fixtures. I mean, there's so much that you can do in a space. I mean, you can do tile, you can add wallpaper, you could have transitional, traditional, coastal, you can have vintage, mid-century modern. I mean, there's so much you can do with your bathrooms now.
And it really doesn't all have to follow the same style.
Absolutely not. You could have your powder room be one way, you could have your main bathroom be another way, you could have your kids' bathroom be full of bright colors and vibrant. I mean, there's so much out there. There's no limit to what you can do with your style.
It's really a place where you can put some of those statement pieces in a home.
Absolutely, and I feel like, a powder room, that's your first impression with guests. That's the bathroom that they're gonna use. And so you definitely want that to be a showpiece. And what's great is having these small little spaces that you can do so much with.
What is the importance of working with the right partners?
So I've been working with Kitchen and Bath Gallery for many, many years. And it's just great when you have that collaboration and you have those people that listen to you and listen to what your clients want.
One of those partners is kitchen and bath designer Dana Breja. You work all over New England. What are some trends that you're seeing out there these days?
We're seeing a lot of inset, beaded design. We're also seeing a lot of recessed panels, applied paints, wood stains, very unique looks. Lots of texture, sometimes waterfall countertops. That's a common trend at this time.
What are some of those statement pieces that we can see throughout this project?
The statement pieces would be the Murano glass sink in the bathroom, larger edge detail on the countertop, along with the kitchen having Waterstone faucet, and just mixing the metal with the wood and the paint, I think, really enhances the project.
What is the importance of working with the right partners?
If you have a relationship with somebody that is extremely talented and that has unique design application, they can really be beneficial to work with. Everyone has their own way of designing, and when you have a key person that you work with that can also bring enhancements to the table, that's going to be a huge plus to get the project the way it needs to be and make sure the customer's happy with it.
Coming up after the break, we're heading to Boston's North End to learn how to give a unique twist to a classic cocktail. When New England Living returns after this. Welcome back to the show. Up next, our mixologist shares his take on a traditional Manhattan. We're here at Preza in the North End, and I'm joined by Craig Carpenter. And Craig, you're making the Cingale for us today, and it's a really fun name, and I'm sure a really fun drink. What goes into this?
Yeah, and Cingale actually means wild boar in Italian. And what we're doing here is an Italian play on a Manhattan. So every Manhattan's gonna have a whiskey base. And I chose a Horse Soldier bourbon. This is, I think, a really balanced whiskey. And we're gonna use 2 parts to 1 parts of each of these, which is Select Aperitivo. It's actually the oldest aperitivo in the world. And then we're also gonna be using Averna to give it a little bit of a bite.
And you chose Horse Soldier for a special reason. What's the meaning behind this?
Yeah, so besides the fact that it's a really great bourbon, there's actually a great story about the history from it. After 9/11, there was soldiers, Green Berets, that were sent on missions into northern Afghanistan, and they had to ride into these missions on horseback to where they were getting. When they came back, their comrades nicknamed them the Horse Soldiers, and that's where the name was born out of. Also, every bottle is uniquely marked. The labels are pressed with metal from the World Trade Center after the 9/11 collapse. So there is a special meaning behind that as well.
It really is an incredible bottle, and this drink is looking pretty amazing too. When these are all mixed together, what kind of flavors can we expect?
Yeah, so like a traditional Manhattan, the bourbon is gonna shine through, so the Horse Soldier is gonna shine through, and you're gonna get a little bit of bitterness and sweetness from the Aperitivo and the Averna. And then you have a really beautiful color here.
Look how refreshing that looks.
And we are gonna garnish that with a Luxardo cherry.
last but not least, a cherry on top. Those are my favorite types of cherries. And for more on this recipe, head to our website, newenglandliving.tv. It's time now to go around New England with your New England Chevy dealer. We're at the Strawberry Bank Museum in downtown Portsmouth, New Hampshire, where you can explore over 350 years of the region's history, as told through the stories of the people who lived there throughout the neighborhood's evolution. Visitors can check out over a dozen historic homes on site, ranging from elegant mansions to working-class homes. Some even display original furnishings, dishes, and objects, making you feel as though you truly took a step back in time. You can also explore a colonial tavern and a reproduction of a Native American wigwam. Throughout the museum, you'll find costumed role players offering a historical perspective of the Puddle Dock neighborhood, representing the time period their character lived, while traditional craftspeople at Strawberry Bank demonstrate skills such as boat making, weaving, and hearth cooking. The outdoor museum is set on almost 10 acres, and more than a dozen gardens on site filled with flowers and vegetables are set to period designs, including a Victorian-era formal garden and apple orchards. Guests can take advantage of the lawn and picnic areas with special events and workshops throughout the year. Thank you for joining us today on New England Living. For more on the show or anything you've seen here today, visit us at newenglandliving.tv and follow us on social media. I'm Rachel Holt. See you next time on New England Living.